It's so beautiful to be here, and I absolutely love everything that everybody has said. And there's going to be some repeats, right? But because we are each unique, we get to bring our own unique way to say what it is that we say, and we get to bring our own unique energy. We get to be who it is that we are. And that's the super, super exciting thing about life and about entrepreneurship. I want you to know that entrepreneurship is going to lead you to who it is that you are. Your success will depend upon that. Your success will lead you into the depths of yourself to really understand what is your passion. If I ask you right now, what is your passion? Put your passion inside of the chat for me. I want to know what your passion is. And then we're going to kind of come back to that because I'm going to ask you a question about your passion. Questions are very, very important. Curiosity. Rupa mentioned curiosity. Curiosity and compassion. Compassion is something, it's a gift that we give ourselves, that we let go of our moral judgment about right or wrong, right? And we just look at it curiously. Why? When? How? Right? And ask those types of questions, what it is. Heart-centered leadership, I see, right? And beautiful. I love heart-centered leadership. That's kind of my forte, really, at the end of the day. It's heart-centered leadership and ethos systems that are built from the core of who it is that you are. Please, if you spend time on one thing, spend the time on understanding the core of who you are so that you can build out the foundations and the pillars. That's part of why I left a steady job as a COO, because I saw women really struggling and their businesses were going for a year or two, maybe three, out of pure grit and resilience and force to make it happen. And then they crumbled down to the ground like a leaning tower of Pisa. And part of that was because they hadn't really gotten down to their core. The core they were presenting, the core they were building off of was their moms or their dads or their teachers or societies, right? They hadn't really gotten down to understand who it was that they are. And those of you that are younger, I really, really want to encourage you to write down, who am I? And write down the answers and keep it, because you are closer to the remembrance of that truth. And it's going to be easier for you to connect to. Okay. So one of the things that I saw some of you guys put, was to improve your circle around you. You have passion. It's tough because you keep surprising yourself every day. I love that answer because it's so true. I'm what I call a multi-passionate because there are so many things that are important to me and that I love. And so one of the things that I had a problem or a struggle with when I went into entrepreneurship was the niche. Because any business coach that you go to will tell you that you have to niche down. You have to niche that down. You have to be clear, not clever. You have to be able to speak precisely. You're only speaking to one person. You're speaking to who you were 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. No, it's what I say to all of that. I call myself an iconoclastic visionary. For one, because I am an icon. For two, because I have a vision. And really what that means is that I will take what society, the constructs, the belief systems of myself, of society, and of those around me, and we will peel back the layers and we're going to crumble that down and we're going to find the truth. We're going to find the gift that's really down underneath all of those layers, because those are the things that are going to help you move forward. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am JenLyn. I am the queen of muchness and the unicorns. Okay. That's something that most would tell you, you can't do that in business. You can't be a founder and a CEO and look like that, talk like that, act like that, believe like that. This is another thing I want you to always believe, that when someone tells you no and they have resistance against you, push back by leaning into whatever it is that they're asking you to change, because in that moment, they're trying to put you in a box, and you are not meant to be in a box. You are a universe. You are an entire universe in a body, and you can create anything. I want to tell you this. If your dreams, when you tell other people your dreams, if you're not getting that response, you are not thinking big enough. You are not dreaming big enough. An entrepreneur's vision is something that, especially at first, it's your vision. That's because it's coming from the inside of you, and nobody else is going to be able to wrap around it at first. It's going to take them a minute to wrap around it. That's another reason that it's so important for you to know where it's coming from. And when things get rough and things get hard, you have to be able to know what your why is. Is your why social justice? Is your why hunger? Is it making it a better place? Is it evolution? What is your why? What is your why? Because that's what you're going to lean into when you feel like nothing is working, when you feel like you're in a dark corner and nothing's going your way, and you feel like you're just completely in darkness and nobody understands what it is that you're saying, and you can't seem to find what it is that you need. I want you to remember, you're never starting from square one ever again. You are always starting from experience, and entrepreneurism is a dance. It's a dance of back and forth and side to side and crossways across this vast experience of yourself, and digging deeper and deeper and deeper into the things that it is that you can help serve people with. Okay. When I was 33, I became a widow. Right shortly before that, in the 5 years up to that, I experienced significant health issues. And I was a firefighter paramedic at the time, and I lost my ability to do that job. And that job meant everything to me. It had become an identity. I walked for 3 years carrying my son back and forth with me to work, and saved every penny that I could to be able to put myself through school to be a firefighter paramedic. The first in my family to ever pursue something outside of public school. And truthfully, I only have technically an 8th grade education. I got my GED, what's called a GED, and then I began to make my own rules and my own life. You are the creator. You are the creator, and you can create anything that you will put your time, intention, and attention to. Write it down. Write it down. It's so important. When you write it down, you bring it from the ethers, you bring it from the land of dreams, and you bring it into this place where suddenly you can feel it, you can see it, you can smell it, though who wants to sniff paper? You can lick it if you want to, and taste it, though please don't, because that's going to give you a terrible tummy ache, and that's the worst thing to have as an entrepreneur, right? But you're still going to push through on those days. You're still going to push through, because our life and what is happening doesn't define us. It refines us, right? It sharpens us. It gives us resilience and agility and things that it is that we don't necessarily even know that we have. But when we dig deep, we do that. And when we feel like you're all alone and you feel like you can't see and you feel like you've lost your vision, you want to be able to look back. I call it a brag journal, right? Because we can create all the evidence in the world that the world is against you. See all of the things I've been through? See all of the things that have been stacked against me, and I can use that to keep myself stuck or frozen. And I want you to do something else. I want you to create your own confirmation bias is what it's called, right? And it's a system within your own body, within your own biology, within your own brain that you can use and biohack your life with instead of being set back. Everybody is always going through something. You know, we hear sometimes maybe somebody's going through something. Honey, we all are. We're all going through something. We're all going through something. We're all hungry. We're all tired. We're all sick. We all have things that we're going through all the time. But what I will say about that is whatever it is that you need and whoever it is that you need is always right beside you. So when you're in those moments, look around, learn to identify what it is that you need. And as a creator, what can you put in your hands and create something else with it? And if you feel that you have no control over what it is that's happening, I'm going to ask you to put the I in response I ability, place it in your own hands. When you bring it into yourself, you do have the power to change how you are responding to whatever it may be. And you can be blinded by your own light. When we feel blinded in the most dark, think about it. If you shine a light bulb right in your eye, you can't see anything. You're blinded. And that's what I believe is truly happening when we experience that in our lives. Entrepreneurism really is meant for everyone. And a lot of you here are Gen Alpha, and I have such a special place for you in my heart. And so much of what I do every single day is for justice. It's for impact. It's for legacy. It is absolutely 100% about how I can serve. It's how I can leave the world to be a better place. But know that that might not be your driving force. That might not be your driving force, but it's mine, right? So don't get caught up in what other people do or what it seems like everybody else wants you to do. Really lean into being yourself. Because of all of you and because of all of us that are blazing paths for you, the future of entrepreneurism is diverse and it's inclusive and it is abundant. I see a world where success, it isn't just about numbers, but it's about alignment. It's about our muchness and our values and our true purpose. So what is your muchness? I asked you a question earlier. What is your passion, right? And now I'm going to ask you again, and this is your muchness, okay? So what makes you angry? What makes you angry? Consistently, what makes you angry and really just makes you want to do something? It pushes you to step into action. We live in sometimes a positive mindset, which is actually can be quite toxic because, see, disappointment and injustice, right? So anger is something that tells us what our boundaries are. It tells us what's important to us. Laziness, injustice, disappointment. Don't forget that. Do not forget that because that is some part of the core of your passion. Okay. And with anger that is understood and harnessed, it moves things out of the way, right? It makes a movement. I call it moving your mass. Maybe you've heard of things such as like moving the mountains. We're going to move the mountains. The mountain is you. The mountain is you. And when you move, when you allow life to move you, when you allow your passion to move you, and you find others around you that you're moving together, then you suddenly are moving mountain ridges. You're moving whole mountain geographies. You are moving the world and you're moving it together. That is so important. Have an important network. Your vibe really does attract your tribe. Okay, so make sure that you're paying attention to who it is. And ones that come are not always going to stay. Relationships come and go. Like I said, it's a dance, and our partners change. So try to get used to not taking things like that personal. I want to end with an invitation to connect. You all can please find me on LinkedIn, and but take a step that scares you. Take a step that scares you. Step into that dream of whatever that big dream is and take it captive. Take it captive. Grab onto it out of the thin air, write it down, give it matter, give it steps, give it a goal, give it your heart, give it your mind, give it everything that you've got every single day, and look at it every single day. And you know what's going to happen is that you're not going to have to find a niche. You're going to become your niche. Like my niche is avant-garde branding. I took my love of injustice. I took my certification as a human rights. I took my sustainability goals. I took my LGBTQI plus goals. I took my love for makeup and fashion and the certifications that I have in all of these areas. And I created a niche. When you create a niche, when you're coming from your core, there is no competition. There's nobody that can compete with you. I want you to write something down for me right now. Money is important. And I want to wrap up with this. We say a lot of times money's not everything, and it's not. It's not everything. But if you hear somebody say that you're not everything and that, yeah, I kind of like want it, but it's not really about that for me. It's about something else. Do you want to be in their presence? If somebody says to you, man, I don't think that you're important. I don't really want to be in your, I can take you or leave you. You don't want to be in the present, right? With that person, or right? What if money as an energy, as a frequency, as a sentient extension of ourselves is the same? What if it needs to be seen and heard and accepted and respected? If you say things like money isn't important, you will not have it. It will run from you. It will always be just right out of your reach. And money is so important to be able to do what it is that you want to do in your entrepreneurship and in your life. It is so important. I want to encourage you. The one thing that you could do besides getting to know yourself is also getting to know money. Understand the power that it brings. Understand it. Get to know it. Date it. Love it. You guys are going to laugh at that. But seriously, build a relationship with it, because then it will be your friend. Then it will come to you because you are going to be able to do with it what it really wants, what it's really meant for, which is to share. It is to make things grow. It is all of those things. But if you are afraid of it, if you curse it, you will never have it. And it's so important. Okay. And the very last thing is, this is what I want you to also write down, is my name. I want you to write down my name because I don't want you to forget it. Okay. And my name is also an acronym. So it's JenLyn, JenLyn. Be justice driven. Always seek to receive and give empowerment. Networking is your life. Networking and having people to support you who believe in you is so important. always, 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 always keep learning. Keep learning always and yield. And what I mean by yield is sometimes resistance needs us to push back, like I talked about earlier. And sometimes it needs us to relax, like we're in water, to float and allow what you've already put into motion to carry you to the next stop. Learn the difference and always look for an opportunity to be able to create a new moment where you have the courage to stand up for somebody else's human rights and for your own. Learn what they are. Learn what your rights are. It's so important. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your just simply being here, because the other thing I know is, even for those of you that are very young, is that it's been hard. It's been hard, and there are days that you don't want to be here. There are days you don't want to get out of bed. There's days you don't want to get dressed. There's days you don't want to do anything, but you have. And always remember, you have a 100% success rate. Thank you.